Thank you. It's an incredible honour to stand here and share this really important day for the people who are graduating today, and an incredible debt of gratitude to me, to University of Suffolk, for the recognition of this honorary degree. It makes me very excited that I can force all the players tomorrow to refer to me as a doctor, and I'll certainly be bestowing that upon myself at the training ground. And again, I know it's a special day for all those who are graduating, and I'd like to share a couple of stories with you. I know so many of you are at the start of hopefully your careers and have very exciting futures ahead. So I'm honoured to stand here. It's very different than speaking in front of 20 football players, but I'd like to share a couple of stories that have helped me in my career to reach this point, and hopefully there'll be some things in there that will you can use in your own careers to your future. Yeah, it's been a long journey for me. So I was a young player, grew up, loved football, and passion was to be a football player. I'll fast forward through an awful lot. My professional career ended at 22 at Tottenham Hotspurs with an injury that resulted in a couple of big surgeries, and of course a big setback where my playing career finished at a very young age. It probably brings me to my first story and the first thing I'd like to tell you about, which is, for me, a really important lesson I learned about following your biggest goal. And if I take you to that time at 22, I finished my playing career really short. At that stage I had not very much money, no savings in the bank account. I did my A-levels when I was playing, but my friends had all been to university, had their degrees, and I was at a real crossroads. I remember sitting in the house with my wife and speaking with my family and discussing what would come next, and there was three careers that were really, really close. One was a maths teacher. I had done okay in maths at school. I enjoyed teaching and working with young people, and that was a profession that I thought would be a nice stable future, and of course a very noble and excellent profession. Two was to be a sports physio. I wanted to stay in sport ideally and work in the industry that I'd been a part of, and that brought me to maybe going into a medical career. And number three was a sports coach, to try and become a coach, to even work with young players of the youngest age group would be something that I would be really proud of. And we deliberated it for a few weeks. We did as you will do in some of your careers now as you're making your decisions, ripped the list of pros and cons and looked at the degree courses and the salaries and how this all might play out, and it was really, really close. And it was probably one conversation that really sticks in my mind. It was with the medical staff member who had really looked after me from my injuries for a couple of years, and I spoke to him and I said, these are my three options. If I become a maths teacher, I can get a job anywhere. If I'll be stable, I'll never get fired, hopefully, unless I do a very bad job, and it would be a career that I can earn a living from. Maybe not my deepest passion. Sports physio would enable me to stay in sport in some way or another, and would also be a good career. And coaching would be something I would really like to do. And his question to me quite simply was, if you could take away all the barriers that you put in yourself, all the limitations, all the concerns about accessibility and your own insecurities, which would you do? And for me at that point the answer is clear. I said I would obviously be a coach. That would it wouldn't even be close. And he looked at me dead straight and said, well, that's your answer. It's clear. Don't let any limitations stand in your way. And it was a really simple conversation, but it's one that really stuck with me, because it made me realise that so often in our careers, so often in our ambitions, we are limited by our own perceptions of what's possible, by our own perceptions of what we can achieve. And at that point in my career, to even become a community coach, a youth coach, it would have seemed like an incredible achievement and would have been my absolute dream. So for it to work out how it has, of course, has been fantastic. But the big thing I took from it is that if you have goals in life, if you have some things that you're uncertain of, if you're not sure, go with your passion, go with your heart, go with the one that means the most with you, go with the one that you love, and chase it with everything you got. Go for your biggest goal, write it down, give it everything, and every chance it will lead you to something that's really, really fulfilling. The second thing I will talk about a little bit is a mantra that we follow at the training ground, and it's pretty common, but something that really, really does hold dear to me, and I think chimes in with the the ethos of the university, and our mantra at the training ground is follow the process, or focus on the process. I should remember it because I say it enough to the players. Focus on the process, and what that means to us is that in our industry, and I'm sure in many industries that you will go into, you can't always hold yourself accountable to the outcome. You can't control the outcomes, and there's so many things beyond what you can control. In football, that is more relevant than in many other industries. I stand here today because, and largely due to 2 promotions that we've led Ipswich Town to, and all of the, the fantastic things that were said about how we've brought the club back to the Premier League and brought pride to so many people. But I know within that there was so many margins along the way, so many games that went our way that couldn't have went our way, so many things, so many inputs from so many people, that really in my career and in our club and in our team, we really try and take ourselves away from the result, take ourselves away from the outcome on any given week, and really focus on the things that we can control. And for me, that is always a focus on learning and development, which is why this is an honour to stand here in an institution that believes in the same. From very early on in my career, I think I did have an obsession with learning and getting better. I certainly wasn't the best coach when I started out. People got promotions before me, people had better job titles than me, people had more status, and people went into the profession with a lot more kudos than I started in the football coaching profession. But my ethos from then was to really focus on learning, to try and develop myself to my best of my ability every day. I was a pure coaching football nerd, I have to say. I would meet up with 1 or 2 colleagues at 6 a.m, an hour and a half before work. We would just talk about, imaginary scenarios of if you had this many players and that many balls, what would you do with them? And we'd do that for an hour or 2 before work began. I would meet up with other colleagues and do similar things. And so many of these things still stand to me today, and I think the real message is to focus on learning, to focus on development, to focus on controlling what you can control. You won't always see the results straight away. It might not lead to your first job, it might not lead to your first promotion, it might not lead to everything going your way all the time. But if you really commit to your journey, if you really commit to your learning, if you really commit to making your processes in your field the best they can be, then at the end of the day the outcomes will prove to be more positive than negative. And the third one for me, which is really something that I think I have developed, and there's lots of things I'm not good at, but I think I'm pretty good at this, and I've had enough setbacks to determine it, and it is to make and let your biggest setbacks be the ones that shape your character. And again, it's, for me to stand here, and I've had so many good things in the last few years in my career, it would be easy to think that it's been all smooth sailing or without setbacks. But I know the honest reflection that even in the last 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years now in football, there's been so many setbacks along the way, and it's those that really do genuinely shape you a lot more. I believe that on those setbacks is where you show your true character, and where you shape your character, and where you show the people around you your true nature. If I give 1, maybe 2 examples, I'll see. But for me, it's been something that I've developed over the years in my career, and now it's something that I actually take pride in. So even when you're Ipswich Town at the moment and we haven't won a game yet in the Premier League and we lost on Saturday, I honestly am at the stage where I take these periods, and of course you don't look forward to them. Of course it's better to be winning all the time, but it's almost something that I relish, because I see it as an opportunity to show my character, to show my true values. And other than that, it's just, again, it's a thank you. It's an absolute best wishes to you all in your new careers. I know the dedication it takes to the degree, and as has been said, so many of you also following passions and employment at the same time. So a massive congratulations to you all, a massive congratulations to your families and your dearest ones for your support. I wish you all the very best for your future. I hope some of you can come to Portman Road and see us win a Premier League game very, very soon. And I hope you all have a very good evening and enjoy some celebrations. Thank you.